He's doing a benefit concert at the Tekawitha Elderly Center right now. He's not going to make it, he said. So, and there is one reserved also for that same table of Johnny Cash, Elvis Presley, Waylon Jennings, and George Jones. I'm going to leave that table empty. So if there's an empty table out there, that's where they're sitting. So you can go over and get an autograph. Got to use your imagination, though. And the radio station, I don't think it's going to be here. They have mobile broadcast system. And the closed circuit TV, I don't think it's going to be here, so don't worry about your makeup. But break out your compact. Those of you put your eyelashes, your eyebrows on a little bit too high, kind of lower them a little bit. Okay? Shave a little bit off the top. Otherwise, you look like you're sitting there in wonderment and amazement, wondering what's going on. And good evening and welcome to all of you. And Clayton, if you would be, get a roster together for your auto guard. Woodrow Wilson Keyball, Legion Post 314. Please get a roster together. We will have a grand entry of all of our auto guards, the colors, dignitaries, and the council executives. And then after that, we will have an opening prayer, and then the posting of the colors with a flag song to honor all of our men and women currently serving in the armed forces, past, present, and future, to honor them. We have a legacy of military participation here of the land of the Sisseton Wahpeton Oyate. So we always got to remember that and pay tribute to them as much as we can, every chance we get. All the tribal council members, executives, they'd like to have you go ahead and start mustering up back there on the north end, the entryway for the concessions. And Legion Post 314, please get a roster together. All the participants in the honor guard, like to have a roster, please. Wanak ukapo. In the meantime, I'm going to ask for a drum song from our Tiosh Pazina youth drum group to sing a drum song to gather the people. Let you all know that we're about ready to start. So I'm going to ask them to sing a drum song. Chanchehoda. Oyate kawachinyap sabadi hich apo. That's what the song says. Drum song, boys. roster. Okay, then we'll just adjust with the two in the middle. I need the roster though. Oh, you got about 6 more guys standing back there, so. In our grand entry, we need to have the tribal council members also in the grand entry. Incoming and outgoing council members. It's always a beautiful event we have here. We have a smooth transition of leadership of the Sisseton Wahpeton Oyate, so it's really enviable to see that. And it's a lesson for a lot of other people to take, that we need to have continuity in everything we do in our way of life for our people. And Hana, things were done that way in the olden days, so we need to regard that and keep it in mind all the time. All of our dignitaries and the grand entry, I hope you're in line back there. And for our visitors, the comfort stations are right out that middle door, and ladies to the left and men to the right. So please keep that in mind. And we appreciate the professionalism of our Dakota Magic event staff that are catering to our needs here, catering to our event. They're tribal members and non-tribal members, but they're doing their job to the best of their ability, so we appreciate that. So okay, you boys got your grand entry protocol set? In the grand entry, we will have the eagle feather staff that'll lead the way, which is the flag of our common people. It's made with the backbone of a choke cherry, red willow, and then it's graced by the fur of our four-legged relatives on this world, on Uchimaka, and the feathers of our winged relatives. And this is a saying that comes from another elder announcer that used that, and I have picked it up, and I use that to honor him because he's a very well-known powwow announcer on the West Coast. And he said, Butch, he said, always remember that. He said, we always got to remember our relationship to our grandmother Earth and all the four-legged and the winged relatives on this world and this universe. So I try to do that as much as I can. So, all right, so ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we're going to begin our grand entry of our 2025 Sisseton Wahpeton Oyate inaugural event here with a procession, a grand entry, and we ask you all to stand and pay respect to yourself. When you respect yourself, we pay respect to others, and that's how you show respect to yourself. So, and I welcome each and every one of you. So, So at this time, we got the youth group from the Chospazina Tribal School to bring a grand entry song, and here they'll also be doing a grand flag song. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, leading the way in our gratitude is the Eagle Feather Staff that was built and dedicated to the honor and respect to Congressional Medal of Honor winner Woodrow Wilson Keeble of the Sisseton Wahpeton Oyate, and the red, white, and blue, and the American flag. And all of our dignitaries, our keynote speaker, as well as other dignitaries visiting the Lake Traverse Reservation. Post yourself in front of the stand where your flag is going to go for the flag song. Do not post them yet. We're going to do the flag song. Desert Era, please come forward too. Stand alongside of you. Brought in by the Woodrow Wilson Keeble, Legion Post 314, and the Desert Era veterans of the Sisseton Wahpeton Oyate. I'd like to ask for a round of applause for them at this time. Then I'd like to ask all the dignitaries to please come forward at this time, led by the Chief Garrett Renville. Please come up here and stand by your chair. And Arvo Nishahua. And our council people, come and be by your chairs as we get ready for our flag song and opening prayer. Our junior councilman here, he's a freshman councilman. He's looking for his chair. Yeah. Uh-oh, old agency in Buffalo. There's a lesson in everything we see. So now at this time, we'll have an opening prayer, then we'll have the flag song. Please remain standing. Pray one heart, one mind. There's many different religions, a way to pray. We ask you to concentrate on the words of the pipe keeper, the sacred bundle of our common people, Chief Arvo Looking Horse.
In the presence of the Wakantaka, the Great Spirit, may peace be with each and every one of you. Wachike, apetukile wakakikte, yuka. Chetona heche, apetukile. Heche uka chipiuka, wana iantu. Hukashla Wakantaka, kamakukaglutapo. Apetukile lawashte. Na lawaka na ampetukile nake echachugli na chipina taku echaka chipi nuha heche hokea wochike dona heche echponki api ina wochunki sapi dona eche kaki japi dona eche yokshi chapi yoti eki api when you do hecho techika, hecho here, hecho lechake, wachiku kakapi. Makak nechokoyapi, neche, wachiki glakimonipi. Oyate, and was in ache, a wachiku kakapi. And chekchi, and we chose ani, no woki. No wangla kikte. Na petukna che. Trokata ki achake. E wocheke. We chonchake chwashe wonki gla kapikte. Na oyate chokonyapi. And ache. Yo hache wocheke. When we chose ani. Na woki. No wangla kikte. Ewa hunopa, wahutopa, wakupakoso makasko yate. Na betikile. Eche makak nechakchi, na wichoni chake. On eche, punkash lo kantaka. Niekte na hoyampika. Na wichozani, na woki, na wangla kiktilo. O mitaku was. I'd like to say a few words. At this time, in our generation, in our time, I am the keeper of the sacred bundle, the sacred white buffalo calf pipe. And there's two white buffalo calves that were born in our generation. And the elders and from the ceremonies, they told us that to prepare when these white animals are being born, white buffalo calves, white animals. Because Mother Earth, Uchimaka, is speaking through the white animals. And yesterday was a great honor to do that. Chiefs Nacha Wichoka Okitkapi Nuka apetukile ona iantu ake ena okigloyapi. in our way of life. Now we always prepare for the generations to come. We always prepare for the years to come. And we always prepare. And we know that we are trying our best to prepare at this time, because the Oyate, the Wahpeton Oyate, Sisseton Oyate, no, they're the ones that can go straight to the White House. And so it's an honor to do that ceremony yesterday, to make a nacha. So I want to say that much because we don't know what the future is going to hold for us, but I know that we as a nation upon Mother Earth, we stand, and at this time we are standing as a nation upon Mother Earth because we believe in our nation and our future for our children.
Excellent words of advice to begin our event this evening. For the leadership stepping up on behalf of the Sisseton Wahpeton Oyate. And at this time, we'll have a flag song to pay tribute to all of our veterans, past, present, and future. And especially at this time, precarious times over there across the ocean. So, this is also the home of the Medal of Honor winner of the Dakota Oyate, Woodrow Wilson Keeble, who was the recipient of the Medal of Honor for his duty served in Korea. So at this time, let's all stand proudly with a flag song that will introduce our color guard. Grandfather, our creator, we treasure this flag, and that is why we do what we do. Your flag will always stand forever, is the song that our singers are singing. Our flag songs have just as much reverence and importance as the Star-Spangled Banner. Our songs were composed due to our warriors sacrificing their lives for the freedom to protect the freedom of others, of their homes and their communities and their families. So this song has very much meaning to us. At this time, please be seated, everyone. If you would, please be seated. Wakichuza, Wogda Kawishasta, we are Wanayo Takapo, Council Oitracha. At this time, we're going to introduce our honor guards here. First of all, as I call the post number, I'd like to have you form in front for exit song, okay? 2 by 2. The cat lance carriers and staff carriers, first of all, Daryl Maru and Mike Greeley. Yep. Yep. Let's fall in front here. We'll have exit song for you. Katie, get an exit song ready for them. And Legion Post 314, fall in. Desert Era Veterans, fall in, gentlemen, if you would please. Okay, just Bazila. Please remain standing. Please remain standing. I have one simple little request for a common man of the Scout Oyate, Wahpeton Oyate, the 39th President of the United States, Jimmy Carter, passed away recently. And so I'd like to ask for a moment of silence for Jimmy Carter. He was here on reservations with Habitat for Humanity, building houses for our relatives. So a moment of silence, if you would please, for President Jimmy Carter. Thank you. Please be seated. Okay, everybody sit down. Put your napkin up to your mouth and cough a couple times there. All right, settle down a little bit there. Loosen up your shirt. Pull your pants back up. Pull your blouse back down, and check your makeup. We're taking pictures in here. And get ready. We've got a powerful speech coming your way at this time. So we have the president, the chairman of the Sisseton Wahpeton Oyate, was re-elected to another term. And as Arvo, keeper of our sacred bundle, Arvo Lookenhorst mentioned, we had a chief ceremony for him last night, and he was installed as a chief, following in the footsteps of his great-great-great-grandfather, Gabriel Renville. So at this time, a nice warm welcome for Tribal Chairman J. Garrett Renville.
just want to start out by welcoming each and every one of you tonight to this inauguration as we welcome 6 new tribal council representatives, and I want to congratulate the other 3 that were re-elected, our vice chairwoman, our tribal secretary, and our councilwoman from Long Hollow. It was brought to my attention not too long ago after the election that this might, as far as I can remember, I think this is the first time all 3 tribal executives were re-elected to a second term. So I want to take a moment to congratulate those that were re-elected and give them a round of applause. Before I get started, I want to take a moment to acknowledge the incredible Dakota Magic team who made this all possible. From the tireless behind-the-scenes work to all the creative visionaries that had a part in planning tonight, every single person who contributed to this special night, to all the organizers, volunteers, cooks, the IT crew, Tom, who's always goes above and beyond for our community, the drum group, to our veterans, to Arvel, Looking Horse, for providing the prayer, and everyone in between. Your dedication, service, and hard work truly shines in moments like these, and I want to make sure you are all acknowledged. I thank you for for making this such a memorable experience for all of our guests that are here tonight. But I want to take this moment too to also honor our council representatives that will be leaving us. So if the vice chairwoman and the tribal secretary could come up, we have a gift, a blanket for each and every one of the outgoing council. And I just want to say that I thank each and every one of you for your tireless dedication and service during your term and your time. Your leadership and commitment to our community has made a lasting impact, and I wish in all of your future endeavors. So if we can have you come up. We'll start with Bikuli, Susie Amos. Up next, Buffalo Lake, Kenny Johnson. Enemy Swim, Dallas Owen. Stand up, Dallas. That's an ongoing joke we have with Dallas. So we're going to miss teasing him this next term. Haipa, Gypsy Wana. Lake Travers, Joan White. Okay, one more round of applause for our tribal council. We'll have you come up front.
This is what I mean now. We have a smooth transition of leadership here, and we've gifted the outgoing council people, the speakers for their communities. And so at this time, we're going to have a thank you song in our language. Wahpeton Oyate Inauguration. Let's all stand in gratitude and thank them for their service for the last 2 years and the words that they shared on behalf of the people. And the incoming council will come and shake hands with them and thank them. And I say, we touch her. Yeah, take a car of head and a very child of you child. The thank you song they're singing for the outgoing council members is, I treasure my Indian ways, and that is why I chose to come to the center on behalf of the people, to speak with them in context, to represent my people. Beautiful song, beautiful song. Please be seated. Sit down. Make sure there's a chair behind you. You're all on film, so. And thank you again to the outgoing council people. They are part of the history of the Sisseton Wahpeton Oyate. Now at this time, we'll have a keynote speaker. Then after that, we'll have the swearing-in ceremony of the incoming council, and we'll have remote council and executives. And so at this time, I'd like to have everybody give a nice, warm welcome to a man that was here several years back and spoke to our people, to the incoming council at that time, a good words of advice, and he's also, and the community is growing by leaps and bounds in a way that we couldn't imagine all those years when he was here. But under his leadership, he's guided his people, his crews, his organization to a success with the Wahpeton Oyate. So ladies and gentlemen, at this time, let's welcome the Wahpeton Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Lance Morgan, our honored guest. I think he was a little bit taller last time I seen him. Welcome, sir.
I didn't need these glasses the last time. So I made a joke coming up here, never give a ho chunk a mic in a big crowd. We get carried away. You guys, I know we're about to eat dinner, so I will be brief. I've talked a little bit about, I was thinking about what to say when I came up here, and I decided to sort of share my experiences with Sisseton over the years, and then maybe give some advice, because I just can't help it. I'll start with that, but first I want to thank you for the honor of doing this. This is my second time doing it. I did it for my good friend J.C. Crawford, and that, and you know, I think it was at the gym or something somewhere in town. But what I do remember is the spirit it gives me from the music and the honoring and the honoring of the outgoing people. It just makes you feel good to be Native. It really does. And it makes you proud of it. And it's a reminder. And the fanfare you get in South Dakota is better than any place else. You know, that plus the speeches and other things. So usually you got to bring it if you bring it to South Dakota. I once did this, I was trying to recruit people for the Government Contracting Association. And all these guys from Alaska were giving corporate speeches. I said, you guys got to know how to get Indians fired up. I said, I once saw the chairman of Pine Ridge give this speech, and he goes, and it was about a tax refund, and he said, a crime has been committed against the Oglala people since 1934, and that crime is theft. And he was just talking about a tax refund, right? So you got to know how to bring it in this environment. First of all, congratulations to Chairman Renville. I've got to know him a little bit recently, and I admire his desire to do good for the people, right? And that's one of the reasons I decided that I would take the time to come up here to honor him and to honor you guys. Let me mention about my time over the years with you guys. The first time I ever came to Sisseton, I was a young man, and our company was very small. I mean, I think this year we'll do revenues of like 600 or 700 million, so it's big. But at the time we did revenues of like 2 or 3 or 5 or something really tiny, and I approached you guys with some concept I had of buying Dynamic Homes, a company in Detroit Lakes. I said I wanted all 7 tribes in the area to buy this housing company. We're going to buy from it and build from it and create jobs. And you know, everybody said no. You guys were the nicest. And although one of the tribes, I think it was Mille Lacs, tried to buy the company instead. but that was my first time coming here, and I remember. I wasn't successful, but I remember how you made me feel, right? It was welcoming and inclusive, and I liked that. The next time I came, we were kind of getting in trouble in Winnebago for cigarettes and gas. We were scheming, getting it in from other states and not paying the tax. And we came up with this plan and fought this battle. The reason you have cheap gas and cigarettes here is because of them. That's how I got to know J.C. Crawford. And what was interesting, I was afraid you guys wouldn't do it, but your tribal leaders took the chance and were aggressive, and then they decided, and you've been doing it ever since for 24 years, getting away with it, and they told you couldn't do it. I've actually written about it in something I've written once about. And I wrote a memo to the tribe saying, I think you'll just get away with it maybe. And you've been doing it ever since. And a lot of tribes would never do that. They'd be too afraid, right? And you guys took that step to go forward. Another time I came to see your bag factory, like a plastic factory, and they were complaining about something, and I was trying to do government contracting, and I was complaining too. And I just stole your guys' idea, and I said, look, we've got the same problem. We should do something different. And that's become one of our biggest companies. Right? And so you guys would never know that, but I just changed my approach after visiting you guys and after you shared your information with me. So you guys have had an impact on us for a very long time. And the last thing, my last connection to this tribe is Ho-Chunk Inc. was 1 year old. Our office was a house. If you go to Sioux City, it's like a giant 10-story building now. It says Ho-Chunk on it. They hate that, by the way. In fact, somebody once said to me, people aren't going to like having a Ho-Chunk word on the skyline. I said, are you kidding me? Of Sioux City, Iowa? I said, everything's named after Indians here. It's going to catch on, right? And but when our office was a modular house, somebody rolled up in a pickup, pulling a trailer, and it was one of your tribal members, Joanne Bird, and she said, hey, I heard you guys got a corporate office. You need some artwork? And I said, what do you got? And the first thing we ever bought in our office was a Joanne Bird painting. And for my birthday, maybe 20 years ago, I asked for the right to buy it personally for myself. And it hangs in my home. And we fought this battle to make off-reservation gaming legal in Nebraska. And, we weren't really a gaming company, but we took over casinos in Omaha and Lincoln, and it's a big deal for us. And we called it the Warhorse Casino. And we were doing a logo, and behind me was that painting from 30 years ago. And it was blue, and it was red, and it was powerful, and it was native, and it was movement. I said, I want my logo to look like this. And so we are, if you look it up, it's the Warhorse Casino logo, and it's taken from the artwork of one of your tribal members. And what's interesting is I've now got 6 of her paintings because I love her work. But she's, she had her husband passed, and she didn't want to paint anymore. But I asked her to paint something for me, and I told her the story of the logo. And I said, here's the logo. It's based on your painting that you sold me in 1995. And she goes, really? I said, can you take this logo and paint it in your style? And so in each of our casinos is the Warhorse logo with a Sisseton Wahpeton artist look. And we tell the story right there at the front door. So you guys have always had an impact on us, and you still have an impact on us, and it's inspiring us. And everybody loves it. The other thing I wanted to add about the Sisseton Wahpeton people that I think is important is that you guys have always been nice. You're aggressive. You got the balance between modern and traditional down, right? The bow tie, that's cool, right? I was worried about wearing a tie, but and this is a compliment, and it's heartfelt. Well, you guys are a good-looking bunch. You guys could be like a Hollywood movie set in here, right? So take pride in who you are. Tribe, it's a proud group of people, and it really is people that I consider my friends. Now, I'm going to switch. This will be quick, I hope, but it's a message. The company I run has been successful, and I watched this speech I gave 20-some years ago. We watched it for some reason, and it said in there, if I had to pick the reason we've been successful, it's I was kind of thinking it was me, but it probably wasn't. When I look back on it, it's our government was set up a little bit different. We have 9 council members, and every year 3 are elected. And so we never change over. I heard the chairman mention that this is the first time all 3 of your executive officers have carried through. And that happens for us all the time. So if you know me better, you'll know that if I worked at a tribe that had an election every couple of years, I'd have been fired every couple of years. The Pine Ridge came to visit us, and they said, how do you know so much about us? And I said, you've been, they have an election every 2 or 3 years, and a whole new group gets in there, and they come visit us. And so I knew everything about them, right? And you guys have been here like 4 or 5 times, just so you know. You've been to Winnebago 4 or 5 times. And I just talked to somebody who mentioned he came down a few years ago. And so if you think about what that means, it means that you're perpetually starting over as a community. And you guys were lucky enough to have an election where a lot of people got reelected. And as I get older, I realize that 2 years is a blink of an eye. When I was a young man, 2 years seemed like it was going to last forever, but 2 years is nothing. You can barely get started. And when you have these sort of all or nothing elections, it has side effects. Like sometimes it gets a little crazy around the elections. Sometimes things paralyze. Sometimes things go, you do things that maybe to get reelected that you probably, but it's rational behavior given that situation. And in our community, only 3 of the 6 are elected every year. And so if you act too crazy, the other 6 are going to hold you in check. Right? And so we change, but we do this. Some tribes do this. You know, they fluctuate wildly. And you know what that means? That means you can't implement something. I mentioned the gaming thing. I have been working on that for 6 years, and we're just got open. 6 years we fought the battle. That would have been 3 elections. And usually when you're an all or nothing election and you to get elected, you got to say what the other guy's doing wrong. And as soon as you get elected, you can't pick up their policies if you've been attacking them the whole time. And so you have this perpetually starting over. Sometimes people just leave their jobs, they quit. And what the beauty and the power of an institution is knowledge, right? And I've been doing the same job for 30 years, and I forgot a lot of things, and I'm not good at math anymore, but I'm so much smarter than when I started. Right? And we learned something in year 2, we learned something in year 5, we learned something in year 10, and anybody who's been to Winnebago can see it, right? What continuity does. And I would challenge you guys to think about staggering your terms. And I've had this conversation with the chairman, but it's just an idea, right? And we changed our constitution. I said, you guys, it's not the 10 Commandments. And I got one more point to make on that. And I risk sounding real nerdy here. My degree's in economics, which makes me uncool, and corporate law. But there's a book called Why Nations Fail. And it won the Nobel Prize. The authors won the Nobel Prize a couple weeks ago, and it reminded me of something. And what it said is some nations are rich, like America, and some nations are poor, like sub-Saharan Africa. And the reason are primarily because of the institutions they build. In America, they tried to make the colonists slaves, and they revolted, and they set up a system where you can grow and you can prosper. In Africa or in Mexico, they set up systems designed to take from the people. Right? And even though they got rid of colonialism, their systems still are in place, and the power of those systems are still in place, and the people still use them to suppress their own people. And so those are called extractive sort of economies, not inclusive. And if you think about, you guys are not an IRA tribe, but in the 1930s, the United States government passed the IRA. It was the Depression. And there was a lot of stuff on the reservations they needed to build this country. And so they set up a system that was designed to be extractive. America is very inclusive, but the systems for natives is extractive. And it's designed to repress and to keep you down. So that system, that this constitution that a lot of tribes has, that we have in our community, is designed to keep us poor. It's designed to take something. It's designed for somebody to say yes. So I think that tribes should put, if you have a system that maybe doesn't work for you or doesn't allow everybody to bubble up and be successful, that you should re-examine it. And so I would challenge you to look at the system you function in and see if you can figure out a way to make it possible for your people to thrive. In my community, it's really hard because trust land is difficult. There's no money for the government. But we've been able to form this corporate entity that strangely gives us all this money. And power is what talks in this world that we're in, right? It makes me suspicious in my own community, but it allows us to do things. I tell my people, we have a magic wand. What are we going to do with it? What are we going to do with it? And you guys are lucky because you have some continuity here, but why do you need luck? Why not institutionalize stability? Why not institutionalize continuity? Why not give you the chance to do something over 10 years instead of 2 or 4? You know, and let your people thrive. Ho-Chunk Inc. is 30 years old. And in our first year, I didn't know anything. We did $400,000 in revenue. And this year we will do $700 million, right? And that's what continuity does. It drives and it makes you successful. And, you know, normally I wouldn't talk about the number part of it, but I just think it's important to see. And I've been there the whole time, getting smarter. And when you're a tribe, you've got to think generationally. I know who my successor is. He's a 34-year-old young man, tribal member. And I've got to do everything I can to teach him so that this continuity can go forward. And that's the beauty of tribes. We are generational. We need to figure out ways to be successful long term. And I think that you guys are one of the best tribes in South Dakota positioned to do that. I mean, you've done a lot given your situation. It's very impressive, you know, what you've been able to accomplish given the restrictions that tribes face. But I think that you guys are one of the ones that can do more. And so, as a friend, as a neighbor, I'm going to root for you. I'm going to watch, and if you need some help, I'll be there. And it has been an honor for me to be here tonight, you guys. I'm very proud to do it. I feel really good. My spirit needed it. Thank you.
All right. Did everybody take notes? Especially those challenges. I see the tribal secretary was really writing fast. We need to help him spell challenge. C-H-A-L-L. Just kidding. But that was good. I'd like another round of applause for Lance Morgan, Chief Executive Officer of Ho-Chunk Enterprises. One of those challenges I was just looking at right away. Sisseton Wahpeton, huge casino sitting across the street from Shields. All right. Right where that alien restaurant is. Oh, yeah, Mr. Creepy. This is good. A good speaker, and I'm really glad on behalf of our elders and children that they chose to bring up Lance Morgan to be a speaker for us. Now at this time, we're going to have Kenny, I want you to get Oyate Wachiniapi Chabidihit Odoa. Okay, get ready. When we have the swearing in ceremony, then we'll have that song right after that. So at this time, I'd like to call up, let's go into our swearing in, Lenore Scheffler. Lenore Scheffler, please come over here. Tom, you have a wireless for her? Wana wogta ka we chashtara ha oit khashekaye we choye ya we chak ukta chahena chate baher yaina ha heta ha oyate ita htania oyok ta chahe chitura. Now our council people, our leadership is going to be receiving some words that they will swear to on their honesty, their trustworthiness of themselves. Give of themselves on behalf of the people. So let's all listen carefully and stand, if you would please, and witness. And encouragement song here for our tribal council and our tribal leaders. Oyate. Okay, yeah. Let Garrett know. Let Garrett know.
Okay.
Yeah. You tell him now. All right, be seated. Thank you very much for that song, the Church Pazina Youth Drum Group. All right, thank you. Please be seated. We have some dignitaries. We'd like to invite them to come and share a few words on behalf of their tribes, their constituents, and also in a congratulatory remarks for the incoming council and executive chair. So I'd like to call up, first of all, from the Spirit Lake Reservation, the tribal chairperson, Lana Street, if you would please come and share a few words. Let's give her a nice warm welcome here.
Good evening, everybody. First of all, I apologize for walking in late, but we got started late, and we were trying to find a parking spot out there, so we had to move our truck once. But while we were moving the truck, security came up and they told me that I was in I couldn't park there. So I was moving it, and my sister said, "What are those flashing lights behind you or behind us?" So I thought it was the security vehicle that was parked out in the front here. And I got off and I looked, and I'm driving one of the Spirit Lake tribal security trucks. And so literally, I don't know when those flashing lights came on, but me and my sister, we had our own escort here to the inauguration for all your new leadership. So we drove down I-29 with those flashing lights all the way here. So we literally gave ourselves our own escort in. It was funny. We didn't notice that till we were out there. But I just want to, say thank you for giving me a few minutes to share and express myself for your new leadership, for Chairman Renville. We truly are, and Chairman Renville is the one who made it a point to discuss this with me in some of our meetings that we have. We meet up at United Tribes for our chairman's meetings, and he brought out the fact that we share a treaty. We share the Treaty of 1867 between our tribes, and so when you think about it, we're really one people. We're really one tribe, and through time and government and all of those things, you know, that separated us, we're still one people. And through his leadership and through our working with each other, our workings, we were able to bring back the chanupa to the Wahpeton Oyate under the discussion. And so I really appreciate that. And we now have our own chanupa, and I want to acknowledge Del Rey and everybody that was a part of that. Not only that, prior to us bringing out our chanupa, and it was made by one of your tribal members, or one of the members of the Eastman family here. I believe his name is Donald Eastman. So we'll always forever be connected, you know, as bloodlines through the land and through that chanupa that's universal. So I wanted to make mention of that. Also wanted to talk about, you know, something that we accomplished together. First, one of the first things we did was we went to Carlisle, Pennsylvania, and we brought back Amos and Edward. We brought them back to our homelands together as one tribe, as one nation, and I'll always be grateful for that as well. So we've been able to do a lot of things, you know, as leaders between our community and between our tribes, just working together. And it's hard to believe that it's already been 2 years. It'll be 2 years for me coming up as well. And time really does move, you know, when you're trying to move your tribe forward and do things that are going to better the lives and the community, you know, of your tribal nations. And so I'm really thankful to have the opportunity to come up here and express, you know, my gratitude to the chairman and to his council. I know he's going to do great things, and, you know, we can do greater things together. And I appreciate that relationship that we built, and I hope that we can continue on with that in a good way. And I just want to express, you know, myself, and I know, you know, these positions are not always easy, and, you know, we take the brunt of everything, but we know that when we step into these roles, and through time, you know, and through experience, you grow. We all grow in good ways and in better ways, but most of all, we grow in ways where we learn how to take care of each other. And so with that, I just want to say thank you for giving me this moment, and I wish you all good luck, and let's continue working together and move our tribe together in a good way. Mitakeasi.
All you young ladies out there, see, answer. And that's how I used to say her name all the time. And first place in Dakota. But, you know, she put her mind to wanting to do something for her people besides in the circle. And I'm sure she had some prayers in the ceremony, and her characteristics got her elected as the chairperson of the Spirit Lake Oyate. So that's really commendable. So all you young ladies, take note of that, okay? There's an opportunity for you always at all times. And now our next speaker we'd like to invite up here. He's the tribal chairman of Cheyenne River, Sioux Tribe Chairman Ryman LeBeau. If you would, please. Let's make him a nice welcome then. Oh, by the way, you guys all eating your salad. We didn't bless the food yet. Good to see you.
Hamidake Yuha Chante Wahpeton Oyate Apollo, the Cheyenne River Sioux Tribe. I thank you all for having me tonight. I appreciate the invite. And we brought a gift for Chairman Renville. Brought him a medallion made by one of our tribal members. So I hope he doesn't take it to the pawn shop. But again, I'm happy to be here with you all. I just came from the Minnesota Public Utilities Commission meeting. They had on the pipestone, the pipeline, the oil pipeline they're trying to put up over there, and they actually rescinded their prior motion to approve their route. So today they rescinded that. Yes, that was definitely good news. Of course, we don't leave us alone, leave our sacred sites alone, but it's our job to protect those sites. And they have a list of tribes that they're gonna work and consult with and coordinate with. So to be there today, and we have a lot of work ahead of us to continue to fight that battle, protect our sacred sites for our Oyate. And you know, I'm just thankful to be here tonight. I know I came into leadership, chairman leadership, at the same time as Garrett did 2 years ago. At Sisseton Wahpeton, we're around 2 years. At Shrine River around 4 years. So I just kind of sat back and watched the elections and everything, and let Sisseton Oyate go through that struggle. And crazy to have the 2-year terms, though. I think Lance was right. You should change that. You know, make it 4 years, make it 3 years, make it staggered so some come in, some go out every cycle. But it's been an honor to work with Chairman Renville. He has the values, the Dakota values, the Lakota values of a leader, and it's not just about, you know, telling people what to do, but it's also doing the work themselves and alongside the people, and having that humility, that wakwala, that compassion, that love for the people. And he shares the information. He tells us what he did. He tells us what his tribe did to be successful. Because Sisseton, you guys are like a South Dakota version of Shakopee. You guys have the casinos, you have the housing, you have all the economic development opportunities. So we really watch you guys. The other thing that we did, we came up and visited, and Chairman Renville invites me to the powwow every year. So I did that for the past 2 years, and but one time he came up and he showed us the programs that you guys have and the success you're seeing with your programs, and that's something that we need to do back at home on my reservation. So we're taking your blueprint and we're going to apply it at Shrine River to find that success, find that Lakota language, bring that back to our children, our elders, for the Oyate going forward. So I'm glad you guys are having success, because I went into those classrooms and heard those children talk their language, and it just made my heart soar. I was really happy to hear those things happen here at Sisseton Wahpeton. So that's something I want to see back at home for our own people. But I don't want to take up too much of your time, because I'm getting hungry myself, and you guys must know I'm on council because I found the mic, or the mic found me. So we all have that connection, and I can keep rambling on too, but I don't want to do that to you all. I know you're all hungry, so thank you, and say congratulations to the council. And again, I appreciate the time tonight. It's an honor to be here with you all. Wahpeton Oyate.
There really is somebody taller than Arvo looking horse. And they're both from the same place too, so thank you, Chairman LeBeau. And ladies and gentlemen, at this time I think we have the executive and council remarks. So I'll open the microphone to all of you, and it's going to be up to you, the tribal chairman. We can start here and go across. Let them introduce themselves. Start here. Okay, the secretary is pointing to the vice chair of the Sisseton Wahpeton Oyate. So if you would, please make welcome Alexandria Lincoln. Alexandria Santra Lincoln.
Unlike everybody, I have to write my speech, so Hami ampetu kide chante washte napechi ujapi lexi fantra Lincoln Hami tawa. Hello, my relatives. This day I shake your hands with a good heart. I want to thank you all for being here with us tonight, and those watching. Tonight is another steps towards our future endeavors as the Oyate. a tradition that allows us to do the most we can for the betterment of our members, families, and friends. As our council sits here with us, I want to thank you all for your hard work and dedication, and I look forward working with the new council. We have had the pleasure of working for our people, with our people, and learning from our people these past 2 years, in which I believe has been a tough but wonderful experience. To understand the deep aspects of what is needed to work in these positions has been eye-opening and has allowed me to grow personally and professionally that will grant not only myself but the executives the ability to progress for the next 2 years for you all. But with that, I am truly humbled that you allowed all 3 executives another term to complete initiatives that have been started so we may improve the lives for not only ourselves but for future generations. Some projects include jobs created within the areas, increased access to healthy foods to improve health, and newly safe environment for our vulnerable children. Waka Hidi Ijaja Tipi, the lighthouse. I remind myself daily that we all want something better on this reservation. We all want our relatives to be living their greatest life, joyful with no struggles, to see our children safely grow with every opportunity offered to them, to see our parents and grandparents blissful and fulfilled with life. With the reminder taped on my office door, great things are not done by impulse, but by a series of small things brought together. I hope that the next 2 years are brought with success, happiness, and growth to our communities and each person, as we may all do our part to work towards these similar goals and become a place for opportunities for not only those that are here today, but for future generations. Kadamya.
Then our tribal secretary, Wahpeton Curtis Bissonette. One note here, ladies and gentlemen, all the 3 have been re-elected to their 2nd term, so that is commendable, and it adds on to that continuity and whatever is happening on behalf of the Sisseton Wahpeton Oyate.
Thank you guys all for coming. First of all, I want to take this time to thank the people in the background here at Dakota Magic for their hospitality and everything that they've done here to set this up for you all to be here. Can we just give them a round of applause? They worked tirelessly and hard. Second of all, I want to thank each and every one of you for having faith in all of us, 3 executives, that we can do another term to finish what we started. It's been an honor. It's been a privilege, and I'm humbled by your support. I'm just going to let you guys know that this is my 4th inauguration in a row. And I'm very, very proud of that. And that means I'm doing a good job. So thank you all very much. From the bottom of my heart, I am humbled. I love this job. It's the best job in the world. It gets hard at times, but I wake up every day knowing that I'm in a position to help people. And that's what makes me, come to work every day. So thank you for that. I want to take this opportunity to thank the outgoing council. I had the privilege of sitting with a lot of good people. We didn't always agree on a lot of things, but we never let that get in the way of anything. We kept moving forward, and that was, that's the best thing we can do for our tribe because our membership deserves that. So I want to thank you, outgoing council. I'm going to miss you guys, especially Dallas. He knows why. I want to congratulate the incoming council. I look forward to working with you guys, and I look forward to moving our tribe one step further to, bettering our tribe as a whole. So thank you. I just want to, just kind of get you guys caught up to speed on what we've done in the 2 years we've had. We got some projects that we got going. One of them being the group home, detention center, our law enforcement center, our wellness center, and agriculture. We want to continue to move those forward. Some of them are set in motion, but some of them need to be finished. And it could be, this position could be difficult at times, because it's because we all want the same thing. And I always tell council and I tell the execs, yeah, we can agree to disagree, but we gotta keep moving forward. With everything we do, we have to keep moving forward. We gotta keep moving our tribe forward. That's how things are gonna get done, and that's how things are gonna move. And this past 2 years was a testament to that. I think we had a lot of success in a lot of ways. The vice chair kind of touched on that. We created more jobs. We got a lot of things started, and I'd like to see them through. And this is for our future generation also. And so, knowing that we have a big responsibility, I'm excited for this next 2 years and what that holds for us. So I look forward to continuing to complete our goals and objectives, our projects. And I don't want to talk too long either, because I ramble off and I go off on different subjects. So I want to keep it short and sweet. But I just want to thank all of you for your continued support. You don't know how much it means to me to get up and, just when I'm driving down the road, I think, about where I've been, how far I've come, and I would never dreamed I'd be here standing in front of you all, doing the work I do. And so I want to thank you guys, especially beautiful tribe, and I look forward to working for you guys these next 2 years. Thank you.
Thank you, Tribal Secretary. And we'll start on the east end of the Janelle Cook, Janelle Long Hollow. And we'll come across from there. Let's make her welcome too. All right. Re-elected also to fill the position.
Good evening, everybody, and thank you all for coming and supporting us. I'm really going to miss my council people that are outgoing. We did a lot together, sat with the execs, approved stuff, and we moved forward, because I believe we don't go backward. We always move forward. That's the best for our children. Thank you.
Thank you. Old Agents, Gabe Chapreska.
I want to thank the Dakota Magic staff again. I'm anxious for the main course. That's the only reason I'm here. I'm just kidding. I just like to say a few things that, as a community, I was talking with JR as we're sitting here. We're talking about the community as a whole, and part of that community that we need to have hope. And each of us have to have some hope about making this a better place for our future generations. And we also have to start being more kind to one another and be respectful and help each other, be generous and laugh. And I'm very excited about this term because I like to collaborate, and I think there's a lot of resources here with the people we have on board, our new council and our execs and all of you and all our committees. We need to be grateful for what we have. About 4 or 5 decades ago, we didn't have this. So be thankful, be grateful, and thank you all for coming, and thanks those people for voting me in. Appreciate it. Thanks.
Thank you. Old agency. Now, Cape Cod-Veblen Councilman Winfield Rondell Jr.
What time is it? Is it evening now? Okay. Good afternoon. Say, I've been here before, donut times, and we can help the Oyate if we think of them first, not as an individual. We have to do it for the Oyate. That's the only way we're going to make it. Ahana, that's the way our people thought. It wasn't just one gets. Everybody gets, or you don't get. And I'm noticing from recent years, it seems like we're getting away from that. Only a few are getting. And we're not looking out for each other like we need to. And so I hope we can get back to that. Even though it's a Hana, but as Dakotas, we need to look at it that way, because that's the way we're going to make it. And every day we have struggles with the Washichu, so we have to watch, be vigilant, and like I said, we need to look out for each other, because that's our way. How, Pidama?
Watch there. And next we go to Enemy Swim, Tokanua, Cheryl Owen.
Hi, I'm thankful to be standing here. You know, I was sitting there listening to everybody's speeches, and everybody had a really good, nice words to say. In my heart, I was thinking about the past councils, our chairman, everybody. I was talking to Jody Owen, my husband, but we were talking about his dad and Moses Gill, all those that were in the past. And I've ways since then. And, they set the pathway for us to be here today. I was really raised in a humble way with my grandparents. I was raised by my grandma Lena Hayes, and the Shepherd family. My father is from Long Hollow. Philip Williams, Nahuntu. So my heart is with the people. And what I always encourage everybody is listen. If you really listen, you can hear what the people are saying. But you have to take time to really listen. And everybody talks about the future generation, and it's true. I have a lot of grandchildren, and I have great-grandchildren now. I never thought, being me this young, no, I'm just kidding, but that's who we work for, sitting up here. We work for our children, and we talk about our future children. Let's remember that, because we are laying the foundation for them. We would not be sitting here if it wasn't for the Creator putting us here and the people having faith in us to move forward and move this generation forward. And it's so true, we need to be nice. I always tell, and be respectful to one another. I've been involved, this is my 3rd time being on council. You know, and I listen to everybody, and I've seen sometimes it gets ugly. But I don't work that way. You know, we have to have a vision for our people. And when we have that vision, we can move forward. If we bind together. I'm from Tokonua. My dad was from Long Hollow, you know, but there's 7 districts here. But we are one tribe. We are one tribe, and we have to remember that when we sit in those seats. When we make decisions, it's for our tribe as a whole. That's what moves us forward. And I'm going to look at all what our past council did, you know, all their visions, and I'm going to look at them. And we need to stand together in order to move forward. We come a long way, and we still got a long way to go. I'm supporting our Dakota culture, our language, you know, because that's who we are. As a people, we're Dakota people. You know, and I stand proud to be part of that. And I'm really thankful that everybody came to support. I can still talk, go on, but I'm here working for us as a people. But it takes a team to do that. Dakota Magic, I just love their work. You know, I've worked here too, and if it wasn't for the laborers out there, we wouldn't have success. So I want to commend them on a job well done. The food is excellent. He said we didn't pray. I felt a little guilty. So I prayed for my food too. Prayed for my food right away, but I was hungry too. So, and it's delicious. So thank you, Dakota Magic, for putting this on.
Anybody else hungry? Raise your hand. All right. While you're holding your hand up, wave it around there. There, I shook hands with you hungry people. Now we go to Lake Travers. Bede Khadakia, Francis Crawford.
Good evening. I just want to thank everybody coming from all 4 directions to come and be here for this event. And I want to start off with thanking the people from the Bedehidakia community in Teoshbe to give me this honor to stand before you guys for the next 2 years and represent you. Kind of listening to the other caller before me this evening, I heard Curtis say that he wants to thank you from the bottom of his heart. I want to say thank you with my whole heart. But you know, I just want to say thank you to the families of the elected officials, borrowing your family members for the next 2 years to lead you and guide you in the best way that we can. My thing is, you know, Cheryl said, you know, talked about it earlier as well, you know, looking back at what's worked and what hasn't worked. Learn from that and move forward. You know, and we can't be standing here with our hands out asking the federal government for money for everything. You heard Lance Morgan speak earlier. You know, now is the time that we need to start going out and borrowing the money ourselves instead of asking for the BIA to help us with money. There's a lot of things that we can still progress and build for our future. So hopefully this elected leadership here is all part of that. Thank you.
Thank you, Francis. Next is Ia Kapta Tranka Big Coolie, Murda.
Hamidakiapi, Chante Washte Nape Chiusapi, Myrna Thompson Imakiapi. I just would first of all like to congratulate the tribal executives and the new incoming council on your elected positions. And I'd also like to thank the outgoing council for the job that they did. And I'm very happy today, as someone mentioned, family. And I have a large family, and they're all here today, along with nieces and nephews, and my daughter traveled here from Washington State. She surprised me and came in last night. So I'm extremely happy about that. And I just want to thank my family for supporting me, for lifting me up, and just being behind me and believing in me. And without the membership that elected me, I wouldn't be here today. We all have people behind us that helped us get to these positions. And I just want to acknowledge each and every one of you for being here today, for my family and my relatives, my friends, and all the people, the veterans that are here that brought us in. Nina Wahpeton Oyate for that, because without the drum, these ceremonies would be really, I would say, they wouldn't have as much meaning. So I want to thank the drum group and all the young ladies that sing behind them. It's beautiful. And just to thank the veterans again, I appreciate that. I'd like to acknowledge our Canadian relatives, the Dakota relatives that may be here. I believe there are some here. If you would just stand so we can acknowledge you. Anybody? Any Canadians in the crowd? There's a few. Thank you for coming. And so again, I just want to also acknowledge my husband Jake couldn't be here tonight. Jake Thompson, he's a former vice chairman from long ago, and he's at home watching on YouTube. So I want to acknowledge him. He's a Vietnam veteran, and so his sisters, my sister-in-laws, are here to represent him today. So I'm happy they came, and my brother-in-law Albert. But I'm really thankful to be here, and I look forward to progressive next 2 years and productivity with the chairman leading us down that good path of hope and just guiding us in that direction. So I really look forward to just great things happening for us in these next 2 years. And I really liked all the words that were spoken tonight from Lance Morgan, from the chairman from Cheyenne River, and the chairwoman from Spirit Lake. And it was a good point that she made, that we were all one tribe at one time till they took our land away. And so it's really some good words, and to have that Chanupa in the tribe like that, it just makes a big difference. And our pipe keeper, Delray German, Nina Wahpeton Oyate for everything, and for Arvo Looking Horse and Paula. Where there's a good man, there's always a good woman behind him. Hey, no. Paula Horn. But I just want to, Nina Wahpeton Oyate, enjoy the food, and thank the staff. Pidama, Midakyasi.
Okay. And Tribal Chairman just called me over. He got a text message that President Joe Biden is not going to be here. The airplane is snowed in Washington, so with that in mind. Oh, okay. Yeah, but Kamala Harris is going to be here. She's driving this way from Fargo right now, so hang on. Just kidding. I have one more incoming council. This name is the hardest to say in Dakota language. And the simplest translation is Tataka Bade, Buffalo Lake. But there's an old translation to it, Cha Ibashdayapi. That means to brush the bark off the tree. So that probably symbolizes the buffalo that used to be there going to the water because the Buffalo Lake is surrounded by all kinds of trees. So that's where that name comes from. Mark that down. And the new council is Wanda Barnes. Make her welcome.
Good evening. This is such an honor. Some of you know Labatt Barnes, and I worked 36 years in Indian gaming. And so to be the representative for Buffalo Lake, this is a new adventure for me and in a new chapter. And I'm looking forward to it because I love people. I love working with people. There's all kinds of people. You know, they're all sizes, shapes, whatever, all personalities and things like that. And they all have something to bring to you when they speak to you. And I truly, truly believe in listening to the people. Because how can we succeed? We can't just do it by ourselves. You know, so we need the people. We need the community. And I'm looking forward to this. It's a new adventure for me, a new chapter. And to work with this group, I think it's going to be very exciting. It's going to be good. It's going to be fun. Yes, we're going to have our ups and downs, but isn't it that way all the time? You know? But you always got to take the good. And I believe every one of us, we can say our life has been good to us. Been very good to us. We're Indian people. We're survivors, and we'll continue to survive. So I just want to thank everybody for coming. Thanks to Dakota Magic. That's my team back there. I always stick up for them. And I just want to thank everybody. Like I said, this is a new adventure for me. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to working with everybody and with the people. And like I said, I listen. And we need new ideas to go forward. We need different things to go forward. And for the next 2 years, you know, I know somebody mentioned the Wishichus. You know, it might be a battle, but we're going to fight. We're going to fight every which way we can to be successful. So thank you.
Thank you, Wanda. I know everybody's getting hungry, but I just got to note that they will be serving the meal. So after we have our honor song here for our incoming council. So please keep that in mind. We have two more speakers. I'd like to call them both up at this time. Ray Brown, please come forward if you would please. And Dennis Pashi. Dennis Pashi. Two more speakers on our agenda. Ray Brown. Dignitaries visiting to the Lake Traverse Reservation. Let's give them a nice round of applause. Don't worry, you're going to eat. Don't worry, you're going to eat.
Good evening, Dakota Oyate. My name is Raymond Brown. I come from Chinupokwa, Dakota Oyate in Manitoba, Canada. Sitting here listening to all this, and I heard individuals say we're all Dakota people, and I truly believe that because today I was in your office, tribal. I was talking to tribal enrollment, and I talked about my grandfather was was from here, from Sisseton, South Dakota, Oyate here, under the name of Chetkana. George Chetkana was here. He was from reservation. So I inquired about that, and I come down and found out that he was here. He lives here. He's from here. I left here in early 1900s. Migrated to Canada. the reason why I came down is because I was regarding about the land, that we still collect land for him as we speak. And I just want to ensure that land is still entitled to us, the Chetkana clan. I am in Canada, we have a different title. Down here, you guys call your leader tribal chairman. Well, in Canada, I'm the chief. The chief is like the tribal chairman in Canada. I am the chief for Chinapa Wahpeton Dakota Nation. And that I think everybody that is here, Dakota Magic, I do come down here when for your powwows. I don't usually go by Raymond Brown. Some of you guys know me as Chopper Brown. I'm always coming down here to play Moxon. I did sing here a couple of times, but this is where I come to play Moxon during your 4th of July power and your November 11 Veterans Power here. I come here to play Moxon all the time. So, I know some of you Moxon players know who I am. And thank you for allowing me to say a few words. And I do believe that we all need to work together. As Dakota people, we're all dealing with the Washichus and the federal government. As we speak, I'm dealing with the federal government. Our Prime Minister has resigned in Canada. That brought a hold to everything in Canada. All business has stopped. But we have to wait until we elect a new Prime Minister for the Dakota issues to go forward. And that as we talk about Oyate people, my grandfather on my dad's side is Inkpaduta. And couple of weeks back ago, I was here down in Flanju, South Dakota. I went down there and I talked to these people down there. Sarah Childers, I do believe her name was, and that they gave me back his Chinupa. And I took it home back to Canada. And his where he came from is Iowa, and that's where he comes from. And I did tell a few stories that was passed to me, oral history of the Beni Ishasha Lake River, how that was his territory that he followed. And when I come down here, like it's all Dakota, we're all Dakota. I don't feel I'm a Canadian or American. I feel Dakota as one nation.
Let's give him a big round of applause. He mentioned one of our warriors, courageous warriors of the Dakota Oyate. Ikpaduta Apedo! Hoya! Now for Mr. Pashi Dennis, if you would please.
Thank you. I'd like to acknowledge the elders, ladies and gentlemen, and thank Orville for the prayer, Orville Looking Horse. I bring greetings to all from our Dakota Nation in the north, Canada. I listened to Donald Trump today. Canada, he's going to make Canada the 51st state. And Greenland too, I heard. I'd like to say congratulations to the new leadership and thank you and to the previous leaders for your service and governance. And it's an honor for me to be invited to come here and participate in the inauguration. I wanted to use this opportunity to bring forward a long overdue discussion between our communities within the ancestral Oyate Shakoan Nation, Dakota, Lakota, Nakota. As the Oyate Shakoan, over many years, we have seen a slow and continual eroding of our inherent rights as the ancestral peoples of the central part of this continent. Successive governments on both sides of the U.S. and Canada borders have continued to allow further development in all industries and sectors without our participation and structured agreements that must govern those activities. Given the recent geopolitical situation, now more than ever, we as the Oyate Sakoan must come together in a working structure to assert and exercise our rights to participation in all areas of the economy within the ancestral territory. There are several industries that we can begin with that are high priorities for both the U.S. and Canadian governments, and can position our Oyate Sakoan nations within the economies of the region for our current and future generations. I'm talking about a clean energy corridor, an economic development opportunity. Our premier in Manitoba is much like here in the state. So our premier in Manitoba is a First Nation, a tribal member, and he wants to work with us to develop economic development. And one of the ways is through electrification, clean energy, and develop a corridor through the Canada and the United States. Our time is now to act to secure a better future for our families and communities. Precedent has been set by other tribal nations moving this forward under the Jade Treaty, and time is of the essence. Again, I'd like to thank and congratulate the leadership. I look forward to working with you for the future of our nation, and I look forward to meetings in the future and being invited to meetings to explain a little more what we're talking about, the clean energy corridor and an economic development opportunity using the Jade Treaty. But I also brought a gift. It's a glass, it's a flame, and it has North America, and in the center of North America, the ancestral territory is etched out, and it includes Canada and the United States of the Oyate Sakoan territory.
Okay, we're getting close to dinner time, so start sharpening up those forks and knives and spoons. A whole menu is printed out for you too. So, but at this time, we'll go to have an honor song for our incoming council and executives. And while that's taking place, going to call up Chief Arvo Looking Horse to give a blessing for the food too. So, after the closing remarks. Wogalaka iglusta ke huna wachikat. Now. Yep. Prayer first? Okay, all right. Arvo, tokya wachakiktak. We'll have the blessing of the food first, and we're going to be served at the patient.
Mitakapi. Ochiwa hevexie naha makha akan unshia pichinte. Nukha Tachani Takile Wakha Cha Pijuta Kile Yata Yachu He O Wachike Na Yakinkte. My grandmother, I remember her words like yesterday. Said Hakoja, my grandchild. We believe in everything has a spirit. And she said, your body is sacred, has a spirit. Every day, you pray for the blessing, the food that you put into your body. And everything that you put into your body, you must pray with it to give you health, to have a good mind. Thank you. Tunkashla wakantuka. Hecha apetukide unake lechakse nonjipna. Makak necha unshich ake hecha nonjipna kacha kamaku kaglutapo. Hecha unshich ake hecha apetuana hecha heyache. Ana wochikuka kapin khan tunkashla wakanta hecha unslakti. Nacha to necha punki apina machunki sapto necha kaki japina che yoti ki apisteche. Hunkash lunslakti. Nacha unshich ake no yapi khache makhak necha yoti unkapi. Wania tu echo techikache na boyati na wochiki chunchakapi. Apetu kana hunkash wakhataka hecha kamakukagutapo. Apetu kana lawashte na lakhache oyati na na wochiki chunchakapi. Nache apetukide hecha no jepicha. Akele chaksuglena japina chatkugate keche takeche washtu gache pikte. Nacha ke woitena ya no jipincha. Na woitena lawashte na lawakhankte. Hecha utkachampu na uzani piktelo. Hecha tulo metakwas.
Okay, please be seated. I guess we've got a little change here before the closing. We're going to go ahead and serve the meal now. I've had midway through the meal, we'll have the closing remarks, and after that, we'll have an honor song where we'll get all of our executives and council people in front, and we'll all come and give them a fist bump or a handshake, either way. Okay? Appreciate that. So you understanding? So the waiters and waitresses, they're all coming out here. Look out. And those of you that need to freshen up, I told you earlier, the ladies are right outside that door. Go to the left and the men on the right side, okay? If you like to freshen up, just they'll put the food on your table. So we've got a whole cadre of servers here. And the menu has been printed out for you. For starters, we had duck bacon and sweet corn wontons with choke cherry and orange sauce. Ata. And we had pork belly bites with triple berry wojapi, rolls with cinnamon maple butter. And the first course of the meal is sunflower squash salad, lemon-scented gala apples, and roasted rosemary squash over heritage greens topped with dried cranberries, ruby radishes, microgreens, roasted sunflower seeds, mid pesto, and maple sunflower dressing. Oh my goodness. Then we get to the second round, second course is smoky bison wild rice meatballs with honey blueberry barbecue sauce and Duchess sweet potatoes, Three Sisters vegetable succotash with garlic chili crisp. And the third and final course is walnut and cranberry tartlet with sugared cranberries, whipped cream, candied orange, and caramel sauce. Beautiful, beautiful. And on behalf of all of our attendees, all of our dignitaries and speakers, our elected council, I want to say thank you very much, and a round of applause here for our servers from Dakota Magic Event Center Professional Food Service Department here. So keep that in mind. Thank you. This is all a part of economic development here for the Sisseton Wahpeton Oyate, an opportunity for our people to work in these enterprises on the reservation here. And housing, I see, was mentioned this evening, so please keep that in mind we did have a huge conference here a little earlier this year, and we had a regional housing conference where we had a tour of some of the housing projects that have taken place on a reservation, and it was very, very well commended by those that attended at that time. So we appreciate that very much. And we're glad that they understood and they enjoyed the trip. We had 2 tour buses full of visitors from all over the place. We're going on a reservation here. So midway through the meal, we'll get towards the end of the meal, we'll get ready for our closing remarks, and then we'll have a congratulatory honor song for our incoming council and executives, at which time we could come and shake hands with them. And what we do, we'd like to start from the east side at the rear, come on across and follow the trail of the sun. Follow the trail of the sun, clockwise. Oh, all right. We have one of our esteemed elders of the Sisseton Wahpeton Oyate, and again, an inspiration for you young ladies and all the young people. We have Chloe Lorraine German. She's seated back. Wave your hand, Lorraine, if you would, please. She's right back there. She's 93 years old, and she's still working. She's still working. Let's give her a big round of applause. At the CHR program. She just loved that paycheck. Why, guess. No, that's quite an inspiration. Quite an inspiration. We have a lot of elders that get into their 90s here on the Lake Traverse Reservation, which is commendable. Commendable as a feather in the hat of the Sisseton Wahpeton Oyate. I think I dropped something here. So, but anyway, I want to apologize to the president of the United Tribes Technical College, President Leander McDonald. Leander, would you please come up here? I'm sorry, I thought I called you up already. But that was beginning of the program here. We were visiting up here, so I kind of skipped my mind a little bit there. But ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome the president of the United Tribes Technical College here. All right, Leander McDonald. I see him all over the place. So he was one of our invited speakers too.
This past term, I was up to Spirit Lake, and President McDonald was the Iapaha up there, as he's a former Itancha at Spirit Lake, and I happened to show up a little late, and he put me on the spot, called me up there right away, so I have to return the favor to him and put him on the spot.
Oh, friends and relatives, shake all your hands in a good way this evening. Thank you for allowing me to share a few thoughts, a few words with you while you eat. And I just wanted to, we just came from the North Dakota Tribal State Relations event held up at the Capitol in North Dakota in Bismarck this morning. Chairwoman Alkire did the address on behalf of the 5 nations of North Dakota. Did a good job of that. We had the Standing Rock Veterans Group there, as well as the drum group, and so it was just good to see the inclusion of culture there at that event. And it was good to see the inclusion of culture here at the Sisseton Wahpeton Oyate Inauguration. And I always appreciate the
leadership and what they share and the knowledge that they carry and the positions that they hold on behalf of our peoples. I want to also want to thank Sisseton Wahpeton Oyate for always being present at the Tribal Leaders Summit in Bismarck during the events week. We appreciate that, and we appreciate all of the presidents there and helping us to do that work on behalf of raising student scholarships for the students that we serve, some of them that are from here, from Sisseton. On our governing board right now is Chairman Renville and Councilman Chempeska just came to our meeting last Friday, and so, but we've always appreciated their the participation from Sisseton as one of our governing nations for our college. All of the 5 tribes of North Dakota are on our governing board, so we have the chair and a council person from each of those 5 tribes for a total of 10. And so we're always pleased for their leadership and their expertise in different areas. There's cultural expertise, there's financial expertise, there's investment expertise, there's educational expertise that they bring to the table to help us to be a better college. And we rely upon our relatives that come to help us to do that work. And we know, and I'm so pleased to hear all those that have shared this evening to that end about the importance of being good relatives to one another. I'm from Spirit Lake. My dad's from Fort Taunton, Tony McDonald, and my mom is from White Shill, and her name was Vina Wells before she became a McDonald. So we're related on 2 different reservations there. And but my grandma on my dad's side was from Standing Rock, and they came from Kennel. So I kind of am United Tribes. So also tonight I seen Councilman Johnson is coming out of office now, but I just wanted to mention Kenneth there in regard to we called on him last minute one time to come and help sing for President Obama, and so it's good to see him. And also have serviced us recently is Louis Johnson, and also outgoing Councilwoman Joan White is here, and we shook hands with her earlier. I think she's sitting on this side with her family. So we appreciate all the help. And lastly, I just want to say that I hear this, and my wife and I, Francine, were on our way over here. We were talking about this and just the importance of spirituality for a foundation. And if we have our language and culture, and our spirituality and culture is in our language, then those things provide that foundation for all that work that we do. And I heard that in the leadership that's coming on board here, and those previously, in regard to the importance of these things, in regard to how we lead and how we use prayer to help us to have that power, or that blessing to help us do the things that we need to do. And so I'm really pleased on that, and I just want to wish you well, Sisseton Wahpeton Oyate people. Also great to see our Tancha from Spirit Lake here, Lana Street, Chairwoman Street, and also her sister. And so I think you guys passed us when you had those flashers on going by us. We pulled over for you. But but it's good to see them here, and also the other chairmen or chiefs that are with us this evening. Thank you for sharing and for your wisdom and for being with us and really honoring the Sisseton Wahpeton Oyate and those that are coming in for the good work that they will be doing. Wopira chichi apado hachatoya.
Well, I would have mentioned, he mentioned his dad, Tony McDonald, is a champion saddleback rider of the Spirit Lake Reservation. And he's in a rest home right now, so, and his brother was also Demas McDonald, was also a champion cowboy. And so I worked with them. There's also Dwayne Howard, who was a champion bull rider from up in that region, their names too. But Tony is a good friend of mine for many, many years. And so I'm proud that Leander has achieved some of his success in that way, especially in higher education. Higher education is very important to our people, following along with the philosophy of Tatanka Iotaka. Put our minds together and let us make a future for our children. And I hit you, oh, thank you. And I apologize, Leander, for once again. It goes with the territory when you're a Eapa, how you're bound to make a mistake here and there. And I have to also let you know that as a Lakota man, we're not supposed to talk about our in-laws and stuff, but in the official capacity as a Eapa, I had to introduce my daughter-in-law, who is the vice chairman of the Sisseton Wahpeton Oyate, and I had to say her name. I had to say her name publicly. So that was in an official capacity. Now we go back to what's her name. That's going to be it. Or Takosa's mom. Or anything else. But anyway, just letting you know that. And also, we have those customs in our ways, so not to mention our in-laws' names directly or look directly at them. So I'm just excusing myself and let you know that it was done in an official capacity. I think we're now eating the sunflower squash salad, right? Sunflower squash salad. Should be the first course. Heritage greens. I want to see some of those heritage greens. Wanda, eat your heritage greens there. Don't be pushing them off to the side there. No, I'm okay. I'm okay. And I want to say thank you very much to the food servers here, the event center staff, and also to Tom Wilson. He's operating the camera over here and the sound. He's over here behind the curtain over here. So let's give Tom a nice round of applause. He's doing a good job. And our drum group, you boys eating? I hope you eat. We got two more songs, the exit song for the flags and the staffs, and then honor song for our incoming incoming dignitaries, council and executives. And don't worry, it's snowing in Sioux Falls, but nobody's going to Sioux Falls right now. There is a joke on all the reservations here in South Dakota. They're taking, oh no, it's how many years did he get? Oh, what a guess. They're taking him in an ambulance to the hospital. It's always, you mentioned Sioux Falls, right? Everybody thinks about the prison. Which reminds me, we do have relatives there. So we do have relatives, so when you pray, remember them. Our relatives that are there, that they finish their sentences and come back and be productive members in our home communities. If you didn't get no food yet, make sure you raise your program up in there. They'll get some food to you. And curly fries. The staff at McDonald's, they got a sign on the window that says, Butch Felix comes here, don't wait on him. Because every time I go to McDonald's, I say, I want a cheeseburger just like the one you put in your advertisement on TV. Not one that's all flat. Okay, we got right in front here, we got a little person that needs food right in front here. He's waving his program around. Hold on, right in front here, servers. little guy got overlooked. He wanted the Alex, let's see, he wanted the smoky bison wild rice meatballs. Washti. For those of you that did not attend last night, we did have a traditional installation of a chief ceremony in the rotunda last night. It was attended by many people. There was many people there. Traditional ceremony of establishing leadership. We had a bonnet ceremony with all the appropriate prayers and songs. And so I mentioned earlier at the opening that it was installation of a chief following in the footsteps of his grandfather, 3 times great-grandfather. And so the leadership role continues on. And we did that as close to the old teaching as much as possible to keep the traditions alive. And again, it was mentioned here by some of our people that keeping our language, our tradition, customs alive as much as we can, no matter how far we go into the next world, the modern world, the contemporary world. And I hate you, Tucha. But this is the formal inauguration and the swearing in of our officials. We have one little guy right up front here, didn't get no food yet. One little guy. Somebody bring a plate of food for this little guy. He's sitting right in front here. No, he just wants dessert, he said. He wants a strawberry sundae and some cookies. You too? Okay, we got 2 guys that need strawberry sundaes. I think the servers have just finished serving the second course here, smoky bison with wild rice, meatballs, and honey blueberry barbecue sauce. Duchess, sweet potatoes, Three Sisters vegetable succotash with garlic chili crisp. And the bread is still in the basket right in front of you. Except over here, they're on the third basket of bread now. I believe the third course is now coming around here. So, third course of the dinner, walnut and cranberry tartlets with sugared cranberries, whipped cream, candied orange, and caramel sauce. That's beautiful. Potato. Great meal, great meal. I think our servers are serving a walnut and cranberry tartlet with sugared cranberries, whipped cream, candied orange, and caramel sauce. It's beautiful. Good. We're getting close to the end of our program. We'll have some closing remarks, and then we'll also have exit of the flag. We'll have an honor song for all of our incoming executives and tribal council. So when we do that, we're going to ask all of you to go along the east wall and come across to shake hands, all right? And congratulate our new executives and the incoming executives and tribal council. But we will have some closing remarks before we get to that point, and possibly a closing prayer. Is everybody done eating? If you're still chewing. Okay, we got a little guy still eating here. Oh, he's trying to get on the camera up here. Tom, get this little guy here. Put him up on the camera. Sitting right in front of you, waving all over the bike. Look like he's waving. I don't know if he's waving at me or these girls up here. He's looking for an auntie. Right there on the first table there. Stand up there. Oh, you are standing up. Okay, now wave. Now wave. Stand up and wave. He can't see you. Stand up and wave. There he is. Hey, let's give him a round of applause. He's been waving all evening. Yes. I was worried he's going to choke on his food. Watch that. And again, I hope you all enjoyed your meal. If you're still eating yet, please excuse us. Go ahead, continue eating. Continue chewing your food. And make sure you chew it good. We do have EMTs here that know how to do CPR. So don't worry. Don't be scared. And our dignitaries, oh boy. We had Lana Street, Ryman LeBeau, Leander McDonald. We have Rod and Dennis that came and shared words with the new executives and tribal council. That's really good. We need to get these Ocheti Shakoi thinking together, especially for the next 4 years. The next 4 years under the national leadership that's going to be taking place here. So we all need to be ready, be strong, and remember our ancestors when it took time to get together, gather up. And tonight there was also, I really appreciate our relative from Uchimakoche, from across the medicine line. He come from Canada, and he mentioned one of our warriors, courageous warriors, names of the Dakota Oyate, Inkpaduta. Inkpaduta is the name that kind of established the warrior spirit for the Dakota Oyate. So he was also one of those that participated in the Battle of Greasy Grass in 1876. And he was known as a very courageous warrior and leader of his warriors. So keep that in mind, especially young people. Remember that. You can look it up. Google it. Inkpaduta. Okay, I think they're cleaning up the tables now. So at this time, I guess we'll go ahead and we'll have some closing remarks. Then we have a little gifting ceremony and a closing prayer. And then we'll have all of our incoming new council executives in front here. And we'll have an honor song, and we'll come and congratulate them. And again, we'll start along the east wall and come this way. Come along the east wall and come this way and that way. So I appreciate that. But all the veterans, if you would please, gotta stand by here. The Honor Guards, Woody Kibo, Legion Post 314, Desert Era veterans, be ready to retrieve our staffs, okay? I am Itaku, Pivana, Oithacha, Ahiglevana, Yotakabena, we a hakeke, we choy was Jinich Ubna, Penuzak Tacha, Itacha ke, Vana Yotaka, not Chawa, Garrett Renville, and Waphaha, Kichunaha, Happy, Wochik, and a boy chore, Eutechika, Yoha, Ukinachita, Takuni, Sechi to it all. Tiowaka. Kinajue Chashta is a derivative of his great-great-great-grandfather's name, Tiowaka Kinajue Chashta, with some closing remarks at this time. So please list it up.
Madakiapi, relatives, esteemed guests, tribal leaders, elders, youth, and all members of the Sisseton Wahpeton Oyate. Today I stand before you filled with deep gratitude and a resolute sense of responsibility. To serve as the leader of the Sisseton Wahpeton Oyate, it has been the highest honor of my life. But it is also a challenge that will humble even the most experienced among us. When we step into these roles, nothing fully prepares us for the road ahead. Sure, education helps. Management experience is useful. And the advice from those who came before is invaluable. But leadership, true leadership, is a journey you cannot fully understand until you are in it. The decisions weigh heavier, the responsibilities feel greater, and the stakes for our people are always high. Yet, the rewards are unmatched. The privilege of seeing our Oyate rise together, overcome challenges, and achieve progress we once only dreamed of. Growing up, I've heard stories about all the great leaders of the Sisseton and Wahpeton, stories of courage, resilience, and vision. Leaders who stood firm during adversity, who carried the hopes of our people on their shoulders, and who always put the Oyate first. Today, as I reflect on our journey together and the path ahead, I firmly believe that we are in an era of profound change and a new generation of leadership. And to quote one of my favorite presidents, JFK, he once said, all over the world, particularly in new nations, young men are coming to power. Men who are not blinded by the old fears and hates and rivalries. Young men who can cast off the old slogans and old delusions. This era we are about to embark on demands individuals who can effectively address the challenges of the present and seize the opportunities that lie ahead. The Sisseton Wahpeton Oyate stands at the forefront of this transformative period, not only issues of today, but also looking further, guiding the way for a brighter tomorrow. One of the most important lessons I've learned as a leader is this: it is important to be an active listener and understanding the diverse perspectives within a team of tribal leaders. This allows for better decision making, it fosters trust, empowers individuals to feel heard and valued. This is why the Community Economic Development Strategy has been so critical. This strategy was built from input of over 5,000 tribal adult tribal members. This document has been more than a guide. It is a reflection of your voices, your needs, and your dreams. When we first began, we took a look at this important document and started to apply our ARPA dollars to implement this strategy. The challenges identified seemed overwhelming: an enormous housing need for our ever-growing population, water systems that needed updating, the need for a new justice infrastructure, gaps in economic development, education, and healthcare. But together, we have turned those challenges into opportunities for growth. We helped to fund a 42-home project, Barker Hill Phase 2, addressing one of the most urgent needs in our community. Housing is about shelter. It's about stability, dignity, and a foundation for our families to be successful. Early in this journey, we took a delegation to Washington, D.C. to discuss additional funding for our detention center, which rose by 100% post-COVID. With the help of past leadership in their ongoing advocacy and the persistence of our lobbying efforts, the help of our congressional delegations and senators, we secured additional $1.6 million to complete this critical project. Now, we are pursuing the 105L program to build a tribal police station, treatment facility, and a wellness center. Along the way, new funding opportunities arise, such as broadband infrastructure. We submitted a $24.5 million grant application in partnership with Crow Creek Sioux Tribe to build 16 5G towers within our reservation, 5 towers on the Crow Creek Sioux Tribe reservation. This is about having connectivity to address some of the most critical needs within our homeland: health, education, agriculture, and economic development. Broadband will connect our people to the world and strengthen sovereignty. I tend to think of this as a virtual toll booth for those who travel through our reservation and their cell phones happen to ping off our towers. We will now collect a small fee for that service, and that's within a part of everybody's cell phone bills. We also joined the Solar for All initiative, which will bring a potential of $9 to $10 million to our community. Renewable energy is not just about sustainability, it's about independence and relieving some of the financial burden off our members. In total, we've submitted or preparing to submit $170 million in grant applications, with the potential of our current federal dollars to total nearly $200 million. This is more than just a number. It is a commitment to build an economy that benefits every member of our Oyate. Our work doesn't stop here at home. With the support of the other 2 tribal executives and tribal council, our presence on the national stage will be recognized, because decisions are made every day that affect Indian country. And whether we are there or not, those decisions happen. I would much rather be there, sitting across the table, having a say in how those decisions affect our future. In this role, I've had the honor of working with key individuals like Senate Majority Leader John Thune, the incoming Interior Department Secretary nominee Doug Burgum. These relationships matter. They help us shape policy, cut government red tape, and set our tribe on a path to prosperity, self-determination, and true sovereignty. Now let me tell you, it's not always easy sitting across from people who have been viewed as historical adversaries. There's a certain tension in those rooms, a feeling that you are not only advocating for your people, but correcting centuries of misunderstanding and mistreatment. But I've heard this, and I've learned this. Respect is built by showing up, speaking the truth, and standing firm on who we are. These meetings aren't about seeking favors. They're about partnership. We are there to say, we know what's best for our people, and we are here to ensure our voices are heard. And when we approach these conversations with clarity and confidence, we are not just participants in those processes, we are leaders in it. As recently as mid-December, I was elected as the chairman of the Coalition of Large Tribes. So I now carry added responsibility. This role is not just a recognition of our tribe's stature, but a chance to advocate for all large tribes facing similar challenges. It is a platform to lead on issues like sovereignty, economic development, and infrastructure, not just for us, but for Indian country as a whole. This role reminds me of those stories I grew up hearing about, our great leaders of the past. They led with wisdom and courage, and their legacies still inspire us today. With this new role and the various initiatives we are pursuing, I believe the Sisseton Wahpeton Oyate is once again at the forefront of leadership. Now, I know this sounds like a lot of responsibility, and believe me, it is. But I've learned that sometimes you need to also laugh along the way. Someone asked me the other day, how are you going to manage these two roles, meetings, and all the responsibilities? And I said, haven't you heard of Red Bull? Lots of Red Bull, lots of coffee, sugar-free, of course. But in all seriousness, this work is worth every challenge because of the potential it holds for our people. Now is the time to build on this momentum with nearly $200 million in potential investments in our community, our renewed presence on the national and regional stage. We are poised to create lasting change. But this work requires all of us, leaders, families, entrepreneurs, all of you out there, to contribute in whichever way you can. We must continue to help our local businesses to keep dollars circulating here in our community. We must diversify our economy so we're not overly reliant on gaming revenue. We must also invest in education and workforce development to prepare our youth for the future. Together, and only together, we can build an economy and a community that reflects our values, honors our ancestors, and secures our sovereignty. As I close, I want to thank each of you for your trust and support. Every step we take is rooted in the principle of Wahpeton Oyate. We're all related. This principle reminds us that the decisions we make today shape the lives of our children and grandchildren. So, let us move forward with purpose, guided by the wisdom of those who came before us, the strength of our people, and the vision of a brighter future. Together, we are not just meeting the challenges of today, we are leading the way for tomorrow. Pidamiedo. Thank you.
At this time, I'm going to call up the veterans, Legion Post 314, and Desert Era veterans. Please come and retrieve your colors, stand with your colors, retrieve your colors to get from, we'll exit the flags and the staffs. And then we'll have the honor song for our incoming administration. While they're doing that, I will have a roll call. Is anybody here from Big Coulee? Let's hear your voices. Anybody from Buffalo Lake? Oh, I'm going to do that. Anybody here from Buffalo Lake? Yee-haw! All right, okay. Anybody here from Trokanua? Anybody here from Geefra-Webbelen? Anybody here from Lake Traverse? Anybody here from Long Hollow? Anybody here from Old Agency? Anybody here from Fargo? Just kidding. Okay. Okay, Daryl, form your honor guard in front here. We'll have a flag song one time through, and then we'll have the exit song, and we'll have, while you're forming up, we'll have a closing prayer. Arvo, Koha, Lechaua. Last night at the bonnet ceremony at the Rotunda, we had the Sisseton Wahpeton Oyate Kid Fox Society did honors and the Desert Era veterans also last night. So it was quite a ceremony last night. And again, we're honored we have the Eagle Feather staff for Master Sergeant Woodrow Wilson Keeble, Congressional Medal of Honor recipient. And we also have the Congressional Medal of Honor flag. And these are taken as safekeeping, and they protect these with the same courage that Woody Keeble displayed in the field of battle in World War II and in Korea. And so the Legion Post 314 is named in his honor for the courage he displayed. And we also want to say thank you very much to our Desert Era veterans who answered the call in multiple deployments to Iraq and Afghanistan, and to the Kid Fox Society also. I thank them for the courage and this warrior spirit that flows through their blood veins yet. So at this time we'll have a closing prayer, and we have a presentation right after that, and then we'll have the exit song, flag song and the exit song. Okay, go ahead.
Before we get started with the closing prayer, I just wanted to share a gift with Arvo for all his help the last few days, and we appreciate his prayers and everything that he does for the Oyate of the Osheti Shakoe.
Wocheke, Daitu Kaleo Kaka Pikte, Apetu Waka, Apetu Luta, Nachake, the Happy Waka, Apetu Tro, Nka, Takueche, and a Pionkilapi, Makakaneche. Da kueche na yuashti na yuaka. Lecho kina jipi, lecho glina jipi na ha. Ya uit kacha, chakse, chak kakni gapi na wopulat khanka. Nacha na wocheke na Uskiunki chapi. Nache, Takueche, Ukachipi. Apetu Naomaka. Kachaguna Picha. Nukin Hukateke. Oyate Chokoyapi. Nachantet Iza. Echokoyapi. No Loa. Na Wocheki. Na Waka. Nuka. Pangashla, Wakantaka, Dakueche, Ugachi Picha, Dugnache Trugateke, Oyate, Nachante was there, Chatet Inza Picte, Nawocheke Chungchahapi, Yache Kokatake Akezania Kimonipi Wichozani Nawoki Waleanje Picha Nawopla Tranka Ukinchapi Nake Trunkashla Wakantaka Unslapo Eche Wichozani Nawoki Nawangalaki Omitakos.
At this time, I'd like to ask the Tios Pasina drum group to render the flag song one time through. And then an exit song for our honor guards, and then we'll get our elected officials in front here, then we'll have an honor song for the after them. Hukai, Wapaha, Odoa. And now for our exit song for the colors. Thank you, Woodrow Wilson Keeble, Legion Post 314. Thank you, Desert Era Veterans. Thank you, Jerry Opsaw, Veteran Service Officer of the Sisseton Wahpeton Oyate. And again, we're going to follow the sun. In the honor song, the handshaking, we're going to come from the east side. Along the east wall, come this way, all right? We don't want a mad bottleneck here. Go to the east side first and then come across. And thank you. Sisseton Wahpeton Oyate. Wahpeton Oyate Inauguration.